2,557,510 funded through our Quick Response Fund on LDRRF for 2024. So the needs requested, Mr. President, this is quite long, but I will not delve into each detail. But we will be providing you with the summary as soon as we're done with this CTREP. So the recommendation, Mr. President, the repair and rehabilitation of damaged bridges, bridge and slope protection, riverbank protection, roads and slope protection. The figures are shown on screen. And I will go to the construction part of our recommendation, Mr. President, the construction of 15 more evacuation centers in 13 municipalities and 1 city in the province of Agusan del Sur. The partial early recovery plan for agriculture and fishery sector for funding for MLGU, 88,696,728. For the provincial local government unit, 11,134,353. From the Department of Agriculture, 11,106,853. And from the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, 1.2 million, or a total of 112,137,936. So thank you so much, Mr. President, for hearing us, and God bless us all.
All right. Siguro we can get an assessment. Do we already have an assessment dun sa infrastructure damage, Sec. Manny?
Thank you, Mr. President. Our inventory of damaged facilities along national roads, the Maharlika Highway is just minimal, and everything has been passable after a few days after the inundation.
Okay.
But there are road cuts and erosions that we have to clear. And in Agusan del Sur, I think there is one bridge that has been partially damaged. But this was possible actually, but it needs a rehabilitation afterwards, Mr. President. But in the meantime, it is still possible, Mr. President, along the national.
As long as it's possible, so that we can provide the assistance that's needed. Nakita ko dito sa listahan ninyo, mahabang listahan ng gamot that is being requested. How are we providing that to those who need it?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes.
We've already provided the release of our quick release funds from central office, which we are downloading to Caraga. The regional office has already provided some of the medicines. Some of them are for the water, sanitation, and hygiene. We provided already a bladder for water, and we also provided aquatabs because we detected coliforms in the water source. So we're trying to avert any outbreak in waterborne diseases. Karamihan po, Mr. President, ng mga sakit yung sa cough and colds or acute respiratory infections in our evacuation centers. Although meron din tayo sang mga skin disease, so we're providing the medicines for this. We've allocated in our quick release funds as much as 42 million pesos available to Caraga. In the meantime, we're using the funds of Caraga Regional Office. The governor has provided us a very nice land for our PIDOHO, our public health office. So they're very well coordinated, and I'm told the governor is very much health oriented. So nakatuto kami sa evacuation centers. I just discovered damage pala yung ibang bahay, so they will stay longer in the evacuation. Usually po kasi, Mr. President, pag baha, pag nag-recede dyan, bumabalik agad sila sa mga bahay nila. So nawawala yung problem sa displacement. Yung public health issues of displacement.
That's another thing. How do we get it to the people that need the medicines? Yun ang kailangan nating I guess we leave it to the LGUs. Yeah. Oo, kayo na munang bahala. Basta we'll supply what we can, what we have. Because alam naman ninyo kung sinong nangangailangan, where they are to be found.
Yes, sir.
So that as usual, it always ends up, the last mile is always LGU. That's always the part that is actually the most important really. Kasi provide ng relief goods, ng itong gamot, ng supplies, etc. But you have to be the ones to assess. Dahil mas alam ninyo yung nangyayari sa lugar ninyo kaysa sa kahit sino. So we will depend upon the LGUs as we always do. Okay, Sec Rex, how's the situation in terms of the evacuees, etc.?
We've already released sa buong region since the rain started 117,000 family food packs, of which the greater part went to Agusan del Sur, 91,000 because of the declaration of state of calamity. Pero on top of that, as the normal standard operating procedure, we've already started engaging the local leaders on the emergency cash transfer. We can use the emergency cash transfer for Agusan del Sur because of their declaration of state of calamity. Then I'm not sure about the other provinces lang if they'll still need it kasi wala silang declaration of state of calamity. Sumenyas na si Gov Angel, okay na raw siya eh. Yeah, so doon kami kay Gov Santi, kina Kong Eddie Bong and Kong Alfel. We've already discussed how many families. Ang indicative, Mr. President, is around 93 million pesos. For around 18,000 families who will get the emergency cash transfer.
All right. There is one of the items here is drinking water ulit. We're back to that problem again. Is there a problem sa supply of drinking water?
Actually, those areas where I went to, Mr. President, last week together with my staff, wala po akong makikitang source of water doon. So it's very ironic that these people are submerged in water, but they are suffering from thirst because due to lack of supply of water. So our local mayors are also trying to provide water, drinkable water through their different means that they have, and the provincial government is augmenting. And we are very happy, Mr. President, that the DSWD immediately acted. They provided us with all those things needed by the people. But the sustainability, Mr. President, is the problem. Like, for example, the number of houses being counted as totally damaged. I myself, Mr. President, cannot be certain that that is the accurate number. When I was there, we could not see houses built on land, because even the roof, you cannot see it anymore. It's already flooded. Ganun po kalalim yung tubig, Mr. President. Ganun kataas. The only houses that we saw in the area are those houses that are built as floating houses. Even in the different school buildings, Mr. President, I was there myself. Ang makikita mo na lang doon sa eskwelahan, Mr. President, yung flag na lang po ng Pilipinas. Yung pole, hindi mo na makikita. Yes, Mr. President. So, ganun po kalala. But meron din pong mga tulong na dumating, Mr. President, galing sa Office of Civil Defense. Kahapon lang po, nagbigay sila dito ng dalawang napakalaking trucks loaded with non-food items. And that was to complement what the good DSWD Secretary has provided us with, yung mga food packs over and above the food items that we at the provincial government provided them with.
Is what we have now, is it enough?
No, Mr. President, because hindi pa namin nabigyan ang lahat.
Well, the problem here is that the ongoing pa rin ito. You can see the weather outside, ongoing pa rin ito. So we cannot put a final number on anything because pero lahat na ng lugar, lahat na ng barangay pwede nang pasukin o hindi pa?
Some barangays pwede nang pasukin by land.
Na-isolate pa?
Yes, isolated pa, Mr. President.
Yeah. All right. So we'll just have to do what we can in the meantime. Because even the public works will have to do the assessment. They cannot do the assessment if the floods are still ongoing. The same thing, actually, with all of the departments, we'll have to just provide as needed, because we do not have a final number yet. But I think we have enough. We have enough supplies for all of this? Eto, food packs. So let's start with food packs.
Mr. President, yes. In fact, we've communicated to the local stakeholders na the regional office has enough food packs. We just replenish them again. So as they need, they can tell the office, the regional director will keep on sending. Marami ho tayo nun, Gov. We just replenish the entire warehouse ng region ulit.
Thank you po. The only problem, Mr. President, is it would take months before the flood waters will subside to its normal level. Kasi po ang hina po ng daloy ng tubig sa Agusan River because of siltation.
All right. So you still have the evacuees in the evacuation centers. Meron ako nakitang figure dito.
Yeah, meron pang mga pamilya na nandoon sa iba't
Pero
ibang
pabawas na ba? Hindi pa.
Alin po?
Pabawas na yung tao sa evacuation
Yes po,
center? Or
pabawas
marami
na
pa
po.
rin?
As soon as their houses
As soon
are
as na
already
pwede sila,
livable.
maalis na sila.
Yeah.
Pero they still have to be provided with food packs. Oo.
Working with the LGU, like you said, Mr. President, sila yung last mile. So they request the food packs in bulk, then sila na nagdi-distribute. Kasi they have the manpower and the know-how kung nasaan yung mga taong nangangailangan. Basta, Mr. President, we assure the local stakeholders that we have enough stocks. And if you need more, just tell the regional office, we'll keep on sending.
Okay. All right. Yung tubig na lang. Ito, balik na naman tayo to the old problem that how do we provide, because as it goes on, maging impractical to provide bottled water. We'll continue to provide what we can. But we have to have a longer term, a more extended solution. And what we usually do sa ibang lugar, nagpapadala kami ng purification system na galing pa sa MMDA yung iba. But that seems to be a practical stopgap measure in terms of providing water supply because as we all know, that's going to be critical. Sec Benher, ano bang sitwasyon? Naubos na ba yung ating purification water?
Mic test. Sorry, sir. Actually, sir, most of them are in Davao right now. Pero tumawag po ako kanina umaga. Meron pa naman nung naiwan sa Metro Manila. Pwede mong papadala maski mga 15 makina. One machine can provide 185 gallons per hour.
Yeah.
So, bukas o padala po natin kagad,
Yeah,
Mr.
but
President.
the situation in Davao is beginning to be better.
Yes, sir.
So maybe we can use some of those kung hindi na kailangan doon.
Yes, sir. Pwede yung pabawas yung iba doon, nagpadala po kaagad dito.
Yeah, because right now we're still in the search and rescue pa rin yung mga isa ibang
Yes, sir.
lugar doon eh. But as soon as it's available, dito na natin dalhin.
Yes, sir.
So,
But I
and
think
again, the LGUs will have to tell us where is the most the areas that are most in need. Yung mga isolated yan eh.
Yes, sir. We are, we
Para
have
meron
a
silang
record.
Pero, sir, we still have 15 machines in Manila.
Yeah.
Para hindi ko na muna bawasan yung sa Davao. That padala po kaagad dito tomorrow.
Yun yung padala natin kaagad.
Yes, sir.
Tapos pag nalibre, yung mga sa Davao na hindi na kailangan, sabihin nila hindi na kailangan, pwede na natin i-forward dito.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Kahapon, sir, may natanggap kaming 2 purifying machines from OCD over and above the other non-food items that they delivered yesterday.
And these are solar powered, sir?
Yes, solar
Maski
powered.
walang
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Solar powered. At may natanggap din kami galing sa IOM, yung mga tents. 770 pieces of tents para sa mga partially destroyed houses, pwede lang gagawing bubong, dingding, etc. And we already have a plan on where to distribute it dahil may record naman po kami doon.
All right. Okay. At least, sige. So we'll just keep monitoring. Basta tuloy-tuloy yung ninyo. Pagka may request kayo, basta ibigay nyo sa amin.
Yes, sir.
And we
Thank
will
you very
provide
much, sir.
what we can. At mukhang we have enough. Enough. I always worry about water because pagka hindi natin naayos na mabuti yan, we'll start getting incidents of cholera, of diphtheria, o kung ano-ano na. All right, so we want to avoid that. Okay, is there anything else, Gov, you want to tell us so that we can attend to it?
Yeah, Mr. President, we are trying our best to meet the needs of our people who are victims of this flood. But our resources are not enough, of course. So we
Yeah.
are praying
No,
that
no.
we will be given assistance. Kasi matagal pa to, Mr. President. Kahit hindi na uulan ngayon, Mr. President, hanggang March, may tubig pa rin yan. Although, yung number of barangays affected will reduce day by day. But those barangays along Agusan River, Mr. President, it takes months.
Do we need to do something to make it faster yung paglabas ng
Pagdaloy
tubig?
ng tubig, I
Oo.
think the solution there, Mr. President, is to dredge Agusan River from the mouth in Butuan City
It's always a
upstream to
problem.
Agusan del Sur. But
Balik
that
tayo
requires
sa-
huge amount.
Balik tayo sa
Yeah.
dredging.
Kasi Mr. President, yung mouth of Agusan River in the Butuan Bay, may nabuong island na doon sa gitna ng ilog because of the siltation. And the Honorable Mayor of Butuan is here with us.
Yes, he's
Alam na alam niya yun na talagang kailangan, pero hindi lang kaya ng local government unit to dredge it.
Very expensive.
Yes, sir.
Oh. All right. Well, sige, that will be, I suppose we'll just have to wait until we can put together a plan for the river. Magde-dredge ulit tayo. The siltation talaga is very bad. It is the same problem everywhere. All right. All right. Is that the are we done with the report from
Yes, sir.
Volcano? Okay.
For
So,
Agusan, sir.
Next, the next item will be the report from Gov Angel on the province of Agusan del Norte.
Yes, good morning, Mr.
morning,
President. Good morning to all of us here. Mr. President, naaawa kasi ako sa Agusan Sur. Sila talagang pinakagrabe. So if I will compare my report to their report, parang talagang naaawa ako talaga sa kanila. But the problem in Agusan del Norte naman, because diba, one river kami lahat. So all the water that comes from the Davao region goes to Agusan del Sur, goes to the municipality of Las Nieves, and ends up in Butuan Bay. Kay Mayor Lagnada po. So basically in Agusan del Norte right now, yes, what you're seeing there is the one in Las Nieves. Out of, we have 21 barangays, 13 are submerged in water, maraming bahay po. One in RTR, but in RTR po na isa, I already asked Congressman Dale Corvera kung pwede niya ipasok para matapos itong problema namin sa barangay na yan. Flood control lang in his, if he can lobby for it, kasi he's in Congress. So if he will be able to do that, ang RTR, hindi na tayo magkakaproblema. But Las Nieves, Mr. President, kinausap ko yung mayor. Sabi ko, kailangan na talaga namin bumili ng lupa, which we have funds naman po, the municipality plus the province, para ilipat din namin yung talagang, di ba, usual, this really happens. So we really have to relocate them. So, yun ang pinag-usapan ho namin ngayon, and nag-supplemental budget kami for that. So in the areas where we can buy, we really have to transfer already itong mga usual victims of flooding.
Thinking about in terms of families,
Okay,
households.
ganito yon, Mr.
Kailangan
President.
sa
Kasi hindi
palagay
natin
nyo kailangan
kaya kasi,
ilipat.
di ba? Kasi we're talking about 4,000 families. So ang iniisip po namin, isa-isahin namin yung grabe, hanggang sa makaya ng pondo namin. Kasi syempre, Mr. President, pagkabili ng lupa, ayusin yan para maayos naman, tapos bibigyan namin sila ng pangpatayo ng bahay nila. We coordinated with Congressman Joboy Aquino, kasi first district po ito, na kung pwede isali sa tupad, yung habang gumagawa, may sweldo sila, lalo yung the skilled workers ng per pamilya. Kung gagawa sila, pwede pa ho yun. So, merong kita rin sila din po ang gagawa ng bahay nila. ang mga materials will come from the LGU and the province. Tapos tupad program from Congress, tama ba? Hindi ba pwede?
The tupad is under DOLE, but we can relay.
Sorry, sir.
Relay
Kasi,
to,
sorry po kay
Yeah,
Congressman,
it's,
Congressman
under
Joey po ako pupunta kasi.
Oo.
So he said okay. Kasi if we will be able to build those houses again, pag humupa na get the, hindi ba pwede po yun?
But sa DS, Mr. President, we have our own cash for work which we use in Mindoro for
but
disaster
pwede rin po?
This seems to be a different,
Yeah.
solution. It's a much longer term solution, and it's going to take much more. It's not just evacuating. Kasi we have to set up a community. We cannot just build a house. We have to
Yes.
build the infrastructure, the roads, all of these things that are needed to have a functioning community.
Pero Mr. President, talagang ganito na talaga hanggang mawala na tayo sa Pilipinas. Ganito talaga in Agusan eh. And these are, as long as it will rain, these effects will happen.
Well, that's why pag pinag-uusapan ng climate change, mitigation na lang at saka adaptation, and that's really what we're going to have to do.
Yes.
Marami talagang, well, of course, all over 50% of our communities are coastal, even more. Basta nasa tabi ng ilog o nasa tabi ng dagat, which is the normal way. So anyway,
So the damaged houses, Mr. President,
Yeah.
for example, in Las Nieves, compared naman to Governor Kani, we have approximately mga 21 houses damaged talaga. So priority namin po sila. Tapos ang problema lang namin in Las Nieves talaga, because Secretary Laurel is here po, yung agriculture, is an agricultural area. So ang laki ng hectareage po namin na naapektuhan. So that's approximately around 584.94 hectares. Ngayon po, we would want, ako sana if we can help them, kasi yung products natin sa corn, rice, cassava, naaawa po ako sa mga farmers natin na most of them, unutang pa nila yung pangtanim. So instead na ma-harvest na nila, this happened. So mas priority na ko talaga yung hanap buhay nila. Kasi mababaon na lalo sila sa utang. But I'd like to commend, Mr. President, really our national agencies. DSWD promptly help. Mabilis ho talaga. Congressman Joboy Aquino's office po helped right away. Ang laki po na binigay po niya, especially in Las Nieves. Si Congressman Del Corvera in RTR, the LGU of the province plus the municipality na involved. Tapos po, nagbigay ang Tingog Party List, nagbigay po ang OCD, and then Ayala Foundation. So it really helped a lot.
good. I'm glad to hear it. Ano yung plano mo pag ililipat yung mga, well, ilang whatever, how many number of houses? We will, the LG will provide the relocation
Yes po.
areas.
Yes po.
Okay, pero we will build their houses for them?
Sorry, Mr. President, light material lang, Mr. President, kasi kung talaga yung usual na housing, mabuang naman tayo, Mr. President, hindi naman kaya sa province and the LGU.
mali,
But,
kaya nga eh.
kung light houses lang, light materials lang, kaya namin. So para habang ginagawa nila, ang naisip ko kasi, Secretary, was the tupad. I did not realize the cash for work. So habang they're building it, anyway, materials I provide for them, if they're skilled, so may kita pa rin sila.
Generally speaking, that's the strategy that we've employed. Is that pagka ganyan, because yung non-cash, after a while, siyempre, food is the most important, water is the most important. But after a while, may pangangailangan na yung household na hindi food at hindi basic survival supplies. So napupunta tayo sa cash for work. Generally, that means the rehabilitation. Whatever, maglinis sila, whatever yung gagawin nila. So we can apply that to their rebuilding their houses. But again, we depend on the LGU to tell us where it is going to go, what kind of community we're trying to put together again.
Pero Mr. President, meron pa ho kaming ginawa ni Mayor. Sabi namin, I told the Mayor, we have to be very strict, especially with the barangay captains involved. If we transfer all these affected families, dapat wala na magtatayo ulit sa area na iniwanan nila. Or else, babalik-balik yung problema natin. So we hold accountable the leaders in the barangay. Kasi you're supposed to be there. So if there will be people who will be building houses again in these areas that are not supposed to be no build zone, then you will be accountable. You should not run next election. Because you're not responsible.
Yeah. Well, that's, anyway.
Mr. President, sorry, that is our, nag-isip na lang kami kung how we will do it. Kasi perennial talaga to.
Well, we just have to come up with a plan, and you'll have to guide us.
Yes,
But of
po.
course, the national government is there. This is what we do. Pag the local government has expended all its supplies, and done all of the effort, that's when we come in. And so, but this is a new kind of rescue in the sense na ililipat na talaga natin and make it a permanent move, hindi transition. We have to think of many things. Whenever you move them, what is the transition? Kung sira yung bahay nila ngayon, saan sila titira habang ginagawa yung bago nilang lugar? So that's not it's not as simple as kagaya yung sa painting na bayanihan na linilipat lang yung bahay. We have to really build the community that will be able to support the locals.
Alam mo, Mr. President, because ang lilipatan nila na area, it's also within their barangay. Hindi naman malayo din kung saan yung submerged yung mga bahay nila. So kumbaga, before we did this, we talked to the people, amenable naman po sila eh.
Oh, no, that's not a problem. I don't think it's a problem. As long as yung lilipatan nila, ganun din ang sitwasyon. May eskwela, may
Yes,
na
po.
malapit sa trabaho,
Yes, po.
meron silang palengke, it's the usual thing.
Yes, po.
But again, that means that we have to build another community. If you have to move the barangay, you have to build all of the support infrastructure for that barangay. The water supply, the roads, the electrical, etc. So anyway, we'll continue to study that. Marami tayong ginagawang ganyan, and it really falls under climate change, the climate change assistance. This is the adaptation part to our response to climate change.
Mr.
Okay.
President, sorry ha, yung sa Department of Agriculture lang po. Kasi ang problema ko ngayon, yung mga farmers talaga na baka mabaon ulit sila sa utang. I got all their names already. In fact, chinek namin lahat ng mga expenses nila ngayon planting season na to. Mas priority ko po talaga sila. Thank you po.
Yes. Yeah. The DA can provide, but at the moment, di naman sila makapagtanim. We will have to wait until everything subsides. But the assistance in terms of inputs, seeds, fertilizer, lahat yung mga nasira, it's available. But we have to wait for the weather to improve bago natin pwedeng gamitin yung mga ano na yan, yung mga supplies natin. That's really put aside for this kind of situation. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Gov. Who's next? Gov Pimentel, please, if you could proceed with the report on Surigao del Sur.
Magandang umaga po, mahal na Presidente. Yung sa low pressure sa LPA po, masyadong konti lang naman yung minimal lang naman ang damage sa amin. Yung mga evacuees na 5,207 sa number of persons 24,956, number of families outside evacuation center mga 10,000, and number of persons outside evacuation center 43,536 po. So, medyo makaya-kaya po namin yan. Hindi kamukha ng Agusan del Sur. I am more concerned po yung rehabilitation ng earthquake na 7.4 magnitude. Kasi yung mga eskwelahan po namin, sa dami ng aftershock, naka 10,000 na po kami. May 5.2, 4.8. Yung iba po hindi pa mapasukan. At saka magpapasalamat po kami ng marami sa inyo na sa immediate action nyo nung December, dumating kaagad po si Secretary Rex Gatchalian, si Yusik Kahipi, at saka si R.D. Doliaga. Nagbigay po kaagad ng 160,000 food packs at saka 3,000, 5,000 AX. At ang lastly po, nagbigay po si Secretary Rex Gatchalian ng 70 million, 5,025 affected na damaged houses, 12,510. Maraming salamat po. Ang concern ko po yung nandiyan naman po yung DPWH, gumagawa po naman talaga sila ng trabaho nila. Yung concern ko po yung how to maintain ng mga barangay roads namin na 2,000 kilometers. Imbis na nagre-repair pa po ako, ito na naman yung bagyo, ito na naman ang baha. Naubos na po yung 70 million ko na pang fuel. Hindi pa ako natatapos. Baka matulungan niyo po kami dyan sa fuel para kasi hindi ako makahiram ng equipment ng DP kasi busy rin sila. May equipment po kami, naubusan lang kami ng fuel. At again po, pasalamat na tumutulong naman po si Congressman Johnny at saka si Congressman Momo sa pag-rehab. Yun po, kasi long term po ito eh. Lalo na yung mga far-flung barangays hanggang ngayon, putol po ang kalsada. At yung mga wooden bridges.
Meron ba tayong initial assessment ng mga possible and non-possible sa Surigao?
Damage.
Sa LPA lang po yan eh. Mas concerned ako sa
Sa-
earthquake.
sa
Kasi
lindol.
yung office nyo po, sabi ko, gusto ko yung sa earthquake, ayaw nilang pumayag kasi LPA lang daw. Bako hindi naman kami masyadong na-damage.
kahit anong disaster, pwede.
Pasensya na po, oras na po na nandyan na po kayo eh.
Okay, let's move to that muna. Meron ba tayong initial assessment after the pagtama ng earthquake?
Actually, what we have done actually, Mr. President, is actually we have assessed actually yung mga damaged buildings.
Buildings pa?
Mga buildings muna po yung inano namin, especially yung mga school buildings. And we have made this assessment and I think we have already forwarded it to OCD yung requirements for the rehabilitation of the school buildings po.
Oo, patong-patong yung lindol. Tapos, yung sa Davao, may effect yung lindol, nag-loosen yung lupa. Kaya umulan na, bumagsak na.
Malalakas
I
po
think
yung
the same thing will
aftershock, may
happen here.
5.2, 4.8.
Oo.
Naka 10,000 na nga po eh. Yung nasisira na ulo namin eh. Ang aftershocks, yung ano po, yung immediate po, yung sa highway, di ba, nire-repair nyo na, pero dapat mabigyan yan ng funding. At saka, yung eskwelahan po talaga kasi palaki ng palaki yung mga crack. So, hindi ko mapapasukan ng estudyante, baka bumagsak.
Oo. Well, another. So, okay. Napasama na yung sa lindol. But, unahin na natin ito. In terms of the evacuees, I think okay na tayo. Nakakapag-provide naman tayo ng pangangailangan nila. All right. So now it's the more long-term damage that we have to worry about.
Opo.
Yun na nga, yung mga kalsada na at saka tulay, pati tulay.
Opo, yung importante po, yung sa highway naman, di ba na-check nyo na po, Secretary. Ginagawa na nila na paraan. Ang concern ko po, yung sa mountain barangays na hindi na madaanan ng kalsada at saka yung mga kahoy po na wooden bridge, inuhuli naman ng DNR. Saan kami kukuha ng kahoy? Dapat po ma-repair yan. Dapat mabigyan kami ng konting leeway ba na yung exempted sa DNR yung paggawa ng wooden bridge.
Now,
Mga wooden bridge sa mga barangay po. Kasi hinuhuli ng DNR yung mga kahoy namin. Kako para hindi naman pambahay yan, pang ano yan, tulay.
we'll see what we'll see what we can do. Oh, para matapos na yung problema hindi. Sige, of course we take note of that. Wala natin sa report, but of course it's important. Mga ating mga thoroughfares are very, very important. We do yung prioritization talaga namin, uunahin talaga namin yung mga isolated para buksan, para madala natin ang tulong.
Yun na nga po yung concern ko eh. Yung upper barangay, hindi na sila makababa. Wala nang kalsada.
So,
Tapos putol pa ang wooden bridge.
So, pag na-identify naman natin yung mga isolated na barangay,
Opo.
yun ang unahin natin, yung mga daan papunta doon, para makapasok na tayo.
Magpatulong lang po ako doon para madaanan.
That's the first, and then titignan. So, of course, yung susunod na ron, tuloy-tuloy naman ang public works na nag-a-assess. Tinitignan, habang basta't medyo medyo mas maganda ng weather, at tapos na ang pagbaha, pwede na sila talagang matignan talaga nila na mabuti kung ano yung naging damage sa kalsada, yung mga erosion, yung mga footings ng tulay, all of these things they will have to assess properly. Tapos bibigyan tayo ng recommendation kung anong dapat gawin. Kung minsan kailangan maglagay ng mas bagong tulay, kailangan lalagyan natin ng slope protection, lalagyan natin ng drainage, whatever. The public works will assess all of that at bibigay sa atin later on. Once we are able to go properly, padala yung mga engineer nila, mapakita talaga matignan talaga kung ano yung naging problema at paano natin aayusin. Okay.
Maraming salamat po, Mr.
Thank you.
President.
Salamat po. Okay, the next item is the OCD with the RD of the OCD, Regional Director Maso she will give us the government response so far to the effects of the Northeast monsoon.
Good morning, His Excellency
Good morning.
Ferdinand Marcos Jr., Mr. President. I'm tasked to report on the government's response to the flooding in the region. This is a consolidated response from the national government and the local government units. 77,972 families or 313,408 persons were provided with different kind of relief assistance, a total amount of 106 million as of yesterday. But in this morning, we just accounted a 115 million cost of assistance in total. But we expect this to rise because of the incoming assistance, Mr. President. The items are as follows: family food pack, medical supplies, family packs, NFIs, other NFIs, shelter repair kits, tarpaulins, generator set, hygiene kit, and other NFIs such as jerry cans, sleeping kits, blankets, etc. Now, for the needs requested, we consolidated as a whole for Caraga Region the food items as expressed by the governors this May. In the forms of rice, we have initiated, OCD has initiated the release of rice for Agusan del Sur, 530 sacks, and Agusan del Norte, 500 sacks of rice. And there is still 3,000 more that we can provide as if the LGUs will request. And also bottled waters have been already provided. And as of yesterday, we forgot to write there, 2 units of water filtration units have been deployed in Santa Josefa, Agusan del Sur yesterday. And for the non-food items.
How much is the throughput of the water purification? In other words, how many liters can you purify in 1 hour? Or
That's only 60 liters because this is small, only 2 yesterday.
60 liters
per hour.
per hour?
Yes po. But we expect more to come from other regions. OCD, our offices are augmenting. So we're expecting more filtration water filtration units, Mr. President.
You know, we should look into, actually, I learned this during Yolanda. There is an actual organization, international organization, that provides water purification. And the technology that they give us is they only give the filter mismo. Ikaw magpo-provide ng balde, bubutasan mo yung balde, then you put this inside. It is any kind of water. Ang demonstration nila, kumuha sila nung galing sa kanal na tubig. Tapos paglabas, ininom na. Sabi na it's safe. You just have to clean it every so often. Each balde can process sufficient for 100 people every day. So maybe we should get that. Pamigay na lang natin. We should start to acquire that. I'll give you the name of the
Over,
I'm sorry?
it's over life or
Correct.
we work with them, Mr.
Yeah.
President. We use them sa community
Oo.
yung community driven. I'll take care of it,
Because
Mr. President.
that's a very simple technology. All we provide is the bucket. Then bubutasan lang para magkasya yung filter. And
We-
then kumukuha na lang ng kumukuha. You just reload and reload. It's 100 persons per day. It is sufficient for 100 people per day.
Well-
Yun ang ginamit namin. Kasi wala pa, nung Yolanda, wala water purification na machine. So that's exactly the one.
Mr. President, we work with them.
Yeah.
I'll take it on from there.
Yeah,
Tapos we'll-
take it out. Yun lang ang ginagawa, that whole organization, that's all they do. That's all they do.
Hindi lang ho ako naniwala nung una eh. Kaya,
Oo. Oo. Tapos para hindi na natin, tapos kukunin yung mga pagkatapos kukunin pa natin. Ito iwan na natin doon. Hindi ba?
Mr. President?
Yes,
But
please.
for the filters po, hindi ba isn't it difficult to access the filters that they provide?
Oh. No, it's
And now, how often do you change it?
you don't have to. You backwash. You wash it. Yeah. Kasi it's yung parang halos
Available po.
yung yung
filter?
dinadaan nila sa
It's available in the market.
very thin membrane. Yung parang sa dialysis. Yung ganun, kanipis. Ang dumadaan lang talaga tubig. Nothing else passes. That's why that's their demonstration is they get the water from kahit yung madumi talaga. May amoy pa nga yung tubig eh. Yes. Go ahead, please sit there.
One of the tasks of DOH is also water testing. So nagbibigay kami ng mga test kits sa local government to check for coliforms. Kaya kung talagang duda pa rin kayo, you can test it. And then we'll find out if fit for human consumption yung water na.
Yung lang, the only downside to that system is that there are no nutrients. Kasi tanggal talaga lahat, everything except the water, But that's a relatively small problem to.
talk to them again, Mr. President.
Yeah,
we
please
do
do.
work with them eh.
I think we should already be getting a regular supply, so that when we have these disasters happening, siyempre immediate yung bottled water. Di magdadala tayo ng bottled water para may tubig naman. But hindi naman pwedeng forever yung bottled water, di ba? So we have to find another system habang nag-aantay sila ng water system. So maybe like if you're going to move your community somewhere, yun na muna ang kanilang gamitin. 10 na ganun, whatever it takes, di ba? So that they have at least a source of fresh water that's drinkable, that's potable. Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, if I may, Mr. President, those are the needs, I think the sectoral needs, and I think these are also mentioned by the good governors earlier on non-food items, wash items, on the farming and livestock, the fishing implements, and the school items, I think already mentioned. But on the status, there's still an ongoing assessment on this and how to provide. We'll be coordinating with respective LGUs on their requests. Next, on the assessment, evacuation may extend at least a month due to the slow receding of flood waters. Schools are utilized as evacuation centers due to the inadequate evacuation centers at the LGU level. Water discharge from the upstream from Davao Region contributes to the increasing water level of the Agusan River affecting Butuan City and identified municipalities in the province of Agusan del Norte. Communities in low-lying areas or along river banks are still flooded, and insufficient water rescue and life-saving assets of LGU. These are our assessments, and these are recurring every time, every flooding. Our recommendations: number one, sustainability of humanitarian relief efforts, as also manifested by the Governor of Agusan del Sur earlier. Timely provision of the following: agricultural interventions, assistance to the micro, small, medium enterprise, shelter assistance, medicines for common illnesses. Third is the development of comprehensive flood control measures for Agusan River. That is a river basin approach, not just particular on LGU, so from upstream Davao to downstream in Butuan City. Construction of standard evacuation centers, and last is the immediate repair and rehab of damaged infra, such as roads and bridges and lifeline services. And that would be all, Mr. President. Daghang salamat.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the immediate response, we are doing all right. That makapag-provide naman yung DSWD ng immediate assistance. The DILG also is able to provide well in terms of the water systems and other assistances. And the DOH is there also to provide the medicines that are needed. So what we need, of course, once again, what we need from the LGUs is that you must tell us what it is you need. Hanggat maaari, dadalhin namin sa inyo. And again, to repeat myself, the last mile is always all the way down to the barangay level. So you will have to, but that's, in my experience, that's the best way to do it. You cannot expect the national to go all the way down to the barangay level. Hindi namin alam kung saan pupunta, kung saan yung talagang di ba? Kasi kung sa report lang, it's not exactly but the governors know, the mayors know exactly what's going on. All right, so in terms of the immediate response, I think we're all right. The DA and the Public Works are in essentially the same position. They have to wait until the event is more or less over para maka-assess sila na mabuti kung anong tanong yung pangangailangan. The Department of Public Works will look, of course, and we will, as usual, prioritize those thoroughfares that are not passable, but are going to the na-isolate na barangay. So yung may mga na-isolate na barangay, unahin natin yun. DA, again, will do the assessment, and then we will provide the assistance to the farmers, both in terms of cash, also one, habang meron silang gamitin in the meantime, and then when it's time to plant, then we will be able to provide seedlings para makabawi naman sila, because walang ani ngayon. Yeah, that's the problem with that. All right, okay. Is there anything else? Any of the other yeah, Johnny. Yes, please go ahead.
Sir President, this is still in connection with the report of Governor Pimentel regarding the earthquake calamity that happened several months ago in Surigao del Sur. There were some damages, most specifically in the school buildings, but there is one building, Mr. President, that is very important that was damaged during the earthquake. And this is the Pag-asa building in Hinatuan, which houses the Doppler radar station. This is the one that monitors typhoons that come to our country. It's not being used now because the building has been damaged. So this is very important, Mr. President. In fact, I was going to talk to Secretary Solidom. Sana mabigyan natin to ng pansin.
DOST mag-operate yan di ba? Sila nag-operate.
Yes, Pag-asa, DOST.
Pag-asa,
yes, correct.
DOST,
But I already sent a letter to DOST. Until now, there's no action. For now, it is not in operation. So importante ho ito kasi ito ho nagmonitor, the hinatuan is the reference point po.
Oo.
Kung makikita
Did,
po
did,
ninyo,
did the Secretary Solidum give you a reason kung bakit hindi inoperate?
the building itself was damaged.
Ah,
That
I see.
houses the,
So hindi talaga magamit.
the radar Doppler. The radar Doppler nandun pa po, pero hindi magamit because hindi na ho pwedeng pumasok yung mga tao doon because nag-crack na nga.
So it's just the building
Yes
that needs
po.
to be
Yung
that needs to
radar
be
Doppler
rehabilitated.
nandun pa po. Opo.
Oh, sige. Yun ang kayong
Yes, Mr. President, I think we can structurally assess.
Yeah,
the damage.
have a look at it
And
because
come up with,
very important yan for the forecasting.
Yeah.
Para at least may warning tayo when these things happen. Meron tayong warning na may parating na heavy rains, low pressure area, whatever. So yes, we'll discuss with Dr. Solidum about this. Oo.
Yes, Mr. President, because this is very important. Because whenever there is a typhoon alert, ito ho yung ginagawang reference point. Ito palaging unang nagre-report sa pag-asa. Yun
Okay.
lang po, Mr. President.
All right. Yes, I agree with you. It is very important. In all of the things that all these disasters, the climate change and everything, the forecast has become more and more and more important because ang bagong hindi ba dati pagka sinabi may bagyo parating, meron tayong 3 to 4 days, di ba? 3 to 5 days. At sasabihin level ang typhoon signal number 2 lang, number 3 kayang-kaya yan. Ngayon iba na. And this was like Odette was the same. Yolanda actually was the one that started it. Pag sabi may low pressure area, ano lang yan? Typhoon signal number 1, 2 lang yan. Within 24 hours yung Odette naging 5. Within 24 hours. And that's the new phenomenon that we have to face. That's why forecasting has become even more important than it always was. And that's why tama yung concern mo na kailangan meron tayo kung meron talagang Doppler radar doon na ginagamit for the forecasting. That should be operational. Sige, ano tayo. I'm sure kung building lang, mabilis lang siguro natin maayos yan. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tani.
Mr. President, I have a picture here. If I can show it to you, or maybe to Secretary Bonoan later, I already have a picture of the building itself. The building that houses the Doppler
Houses
radar.
yung pag-asa facility.
Opo.
Oo, sige, you coordinate together. All right. Thank you for that. Is there anything else anybody would like to talk about? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Magandang tanghali na.
At this juncture, the President shall lead the turnover of assistance from the Office of the President to the provinces, municipalities, and city affected by the recent trough of the LPA and the December 2023 earthquake in the Caraga Region. For Agusan del Sur, may we call on Governor Santiago Cane and the mayors of Agusan del Sur to receive the financial assistance for those affected by the LPA and earthquake. Once again, for Agusan del Sur, may we invite Governor Santiago Cane Jr. and the mayors of Agusan del Sur to receive the financial assistance for those affected by the LPA and earthquake. Thank you, Governor Cani and mayors of Agusan del Sur. Next, may we call on Governor Angelica Amante of Agusan del Norte and the mayors of Agusan del Norte to receive the financial assistance for those affected by the LPA. Thank you, Governor Amante and Mayor of Agusan del Norte. Next, may we call on Governor Alexander Pimentel and the mayors of Surigao del Sur to receive the financial assistance for those affected by the LPA and the earthquake. Thank you, Governor Pimentel and the mayors of Surigao del Sur. And to represent Governor Lyndon Barbers of Surigao del Norte, may we call on Ms. Fe Martinez, the Provincial Treasurer, to receive the financial assistance for those affected by the earthquake. Again, to receive the award in behalf of Governor Barbers of Surigao del Norte is Ms. Fe Martinez, the Provincial Treasurer. Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Next, may we invite Mayor Ronnie Lagnada of Butuan City to receive the financial assistance for those affected by the LPA. Thank you, Mayor Lagnada. At this point, may we request the President to grant a photo opportunity with the congressmen present. Once again, for all congressmen present, may we invite you in front for a photo opportunity with the President. Thank you, Mr. President. That ends our situation briefing for today. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.